We actually use the method of the trigger rule. Okay, we state that if you are going to negative 90 degrees, you use this rule and then you plot it against the phase angle, and then you solve using the trigger rule, right? So this video I'll just use the real. We know that real is equals to 0. I'll use this hypothesis this understanding to solve for the omega is equals to square root 2. Okay, so without further ado, we shall start. Okay, so how do I start? So likewise in like the last video, okay, last time, not last video, but last approach where we solve for the real axis, right? For the negative 180 degrees, right? So typically we take out our transfer function, okay, but now in this case this value is we put it some value, okay, some value. We call this we call it some xj, okay, because it is still imaginary, okay. Typically if you were to look back in our previous example, okay, our approach in terms of complex number, okay, I'm lagging, okay, the imaginary number is actually equals to 0, right? So in this case, we also set our imaginary number equals to, because if you were to take a look at the nyquist plot, right? If the real is equals to 0, definitely there is some imaginary value over here, right? Some imaginary value. So this is what we want to find. And in this case, last video we proved that it is actually square root 2, right? 1 point is and the frequency is actually 1.42 lah, okay, which is square root 2 lah. Once we can solve for the frequency, you know that we are able to solve for the answer. So our objective is to solve for frequency equals to square root 2. Okay, so let's take some assumption that this is some complex number that we want to find, right? So in the next thing we need to do is actually to sub in s equals to j omega. So it's j omega plus 1, j omega plus 2. And then let me expand it. Okay, so I have j square omega square plus 3j omega plus 2. Okay, and should have written this downwards. Will be 1 divided by. Okay, so far it's clear, right? So if you were to evaluate this one, you have minus 1 omega square plus 3j omega plus 2. Correct? And then if you were to group in terms of reals and imaginary, so this will be minus omega square plus 2 plus 3 omega j. So this is real number, this is imaginary. Aha! As you can see, there's a certain trend already, right? So this real number, we know that real number is equals to 0, right? So therefore, minus omega square plus 2 is equals to 0. 2 is equals to omega square. Hence, omega equals to square root 2. Ta-da! And then if you were to sub in into our transfer function, okay, you definitely get back your 0.235 again. Okay, so this is quite straightforward lah. Okay, so I think a little while, and then yeah, thank goodness. So I've successfully cleared, okay, the crossing the negative and the real axis zone. Okay, so next video, okay, next two or three videos, I'll talk about delay concept and performance criteria, which is simply just some understanding only. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video for the rest, and I should call it a day. 7:53. Yeah, so I'll see you there.